Quality assessment body, Umalusi, has basically given the red light for the release of the exams of the 1.1 million national senior certificate candidates that wrote their exams for 2023. Now, with regards to the decision about their approval of the release of the results for the Department of Basic Education, Umalusi raised some red flags and some concerns, and to talk to me about this a little bit further, I have with me the spokesperson for the Department of Basic Education nationally, Mr. Elijah. Thank you so much for joining me, Elijah. You were here throughout the briefing. It was a very specific briefing, a very technical briefing. Let's dive into the issue about their decision with regards to the approval of the release of the DBE. Firstly, what is your response about their approval in general?
No, we're delighted that we've come to this point in the process and that now we can proceed with the release of the results. We are now given permission to proceed to issue the results to all our candidates, and that is what we'll be doing.
Of the DBE, just give clarity. We know that overall is 1.1 million candidates, but specifically for DBE, how many candidates were you set for the exams?
We had 717,000 candidates who enrolled for this examination, so we're happy that all of them have now been given the space to expect their results. Of course, there are some irregularities which we are dealing with, but we hope that we'll clear all of those as quickly as possible so that there can be certainty as to whether all 100% of them are going to receive their results or some are going to be blocked as per the process that we have in place.
Yeah. Irregularities was a big word that came out. Let's break that down. One of the issues that were raised, or flags that were raised, was around the issue of the printing of exam papers, specifically in KwaZulu-Natal and Limpopo and in Mhlanga. What now happens then with the Department of Basic Education dealing with the issue of printing? Because clearly it would be then flagged as an irregularity.
Well, it was recorded as an irregularity, but it has been dealt with. We have provisions in the regulations that deal with such matters when they happen. We have worked with Umalusi to make sure that we address any compromises that would have happened against the learners. So we remove the marks, or the questions rather, from the marking, and we then scale up the marks that they were supposed to get from the original question paper if it didn't have errors. So we were able to make sure that the exams continue and the marking continues and gets completed without anyone being compromised. But we still need to deal with the issue. If it's printing, then it means the printer. There was something there at the printing stage. That is what we are investigating together with the provinces and that are implicated in this. But it doesn't affect the overall quality of the exams because it's not something that happened across the country. It's on isolated in isolated places and on specific questions. So it doesn't mean that the whole question paper was erroneous.
It does again lend itself to the issue of the credibility of the overall results of the exams. While yes, these are certain issues that have been flagged and you are dealing with it and you are addressing it, how sure can candidates be that the results that you'll be releasing this week are a true reflection of what it is that has happened, taking in light of the fact those irregularity issues around printing?
The word irregularity is the word we use. It's not as big as we want to make it sound. If indeed these were big problems, Umalusi would not have come here today to declare the results free to be released. The results that are going to be issued are a true reflection of what happened, because if you are writing out of 100 and there's an error with a question which has 2 marks, we remove the 2 marks and say the question paper was out of 98. How much did you get from 98? So we deal with that. So it's still a complete paper. Notwithstanding that there were challenges, but the question is, what do you do when they arise? We handle them in a way that does not compromise the quality of the results themselves. So we are happy with what we've done. It's a large system, we have to expect some of these things, but we deal with them. So every year we have to look back and say what went wrong, how do we fix it?
You're absolutely right. It is a large system. Just to conclude around the issues of the concerns, the group copying does not speak to the issue of a systematic problem. It speaks to the issue of collusion and ethics. How will you deal with that?
Yeah, that's human behavior issues. So we need to talk to the people's hearts and their minds. What are you thinking? Why do you get yourself involved in something like this? But more often than not, you will find that it happens in a place where the people at the school know that they didn't teach the learners. And then when they look at a question paper, they panic because they know that the learners are going to fail. And then they devise some means to try beat the system and try assist the learners. But invariably, we find out when they get caught. And the system is so sensitive that the slightest thing will be investigated and reported. That's why we have a multiple layer of structures that deal with irregularities so that we prevent this from happening. But where people have done something wrong, there will definitely be consequences. It happens on both sides, whether it's an educator or a candidate or a learner. So there will still be consequences.
To wrap up, you've been given the green light. You're about to do the releasing of the results this week. What is the process that will unfold, and when will the official results be released? I know it always comes in two tranches.
So what we've done now, now that Umalu has said this, we are now starting the printing of the statement of results.
The correct printing.
Well, we've never made mistakes when it comes to the issuing of results. There could be errors in the question paper, but when it comes to individual results, we spend a lot of time verifying the information. So we've never made any mistakes. So each and every one of the candidates that sat for the exam will receive their results.
How will the process unfold?
Provinces are currently printing. They will be sent to the districts, from district to school. So on Friday, candidates will be able to collect their statements of results from the center where they sat for the examinations. But the minister on Thursday evening will announce the pass rate for the nation and, of course, for the provinces.
Thank you so much, Elijah. We're going to leave it there. Spokesperson for the Department of Basic Education just giving a review of their thoughts about Umalusi's approval of their releasing of the exam results. Important point that was pointed out by Elijah. Thursday evening, the minister will submit or hand out and give out information about the pass rate, and then on Friday, that's when candidates who did right will then be able to go and collect their results to see how they're fared for the National Senior Certificate exam for 2023.